In VC, there are actually no rules. The seed rounds led by the Sequoia, Andreessen, etc. It's sometimes 50 million. So in France, try to de-risk too much. The job is to take the risk. That's how the power law actually works in VC. All the industries that we know now are currently being reshaped by AI. So there are massive opportunities for entrepreneurs and for investors as well, betting on investments that make Europe sovereign again.
Hi, I'm Tom Guinness and welcome to the Raising Europe podcast. Here we go behind the scenes with the people building the future of European tech. Today we welcome Briac Lescure to the show. Briac is an investor at Daphni, a Paris-based venture capital firm that was recently named the most active VC investor in France in 2025. Before joining Daphni as a VC, Briac spent over a decade as the co-founder and Co-CEO of Popchef, a B2B food tech business that he scaled to over 100 people, 10 million in ARR, and raised over 20 million euros across multiple fundraising rounds. If you want to learn how the most active VC investor in France is building the future of European tech, you don't want to miss this. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button. It's one quick, free, easy way for you to support the channel and help us make our production better each and every week. Thank you so much for joining us on our journey so far. Without you, none of this would be possible. Now, with that out of the way, let's dive into today's episode.
So Briac, great to have you here today. How are you?
Thank you, great, and you?
Yeah, fantastic. So, let's kick things off with a little bit about yourself. Why don't you tell us a little bit of, why did you decide to become an entrepreneur, and then also why change to VC after building a business?
Yeah, good question. So I'm 36 now. Started working 10 years ago as a VC. I worked for a famous entrepreneur called Marc Simoncini. He's the founder of Mythic.com, a company that he actually IPO'd and sold for a bit more than 500 million euro.
Wow.
And I had the incredible chance to work for him for 1 year. And talking with him on a day-to-day basis, I was young and I felt like investing wasn't what I wanted to do for the next 10 years. I felt like I wanted to, take more risk, and went on to build my own startup. So did that for 10 years. Intense experience, learned tons of things. It was a success in the end, but it was not an easy road to say the least. And felt like I wanted to go back to VC. I think the experience I gathered as an entrepreneur can be really valuable as an investor. I obviously have like a different connection with entrepreneur because like I did what they do and also you can understand things that it's hard to understand as an investor when you haven't been an operator before. So really happy to be at Daphni now. Been there for 1 year now. The fund is doing really well now. We have tons of projects, done a bit less than 20 investment last year. Really happy to be here.
Amazing. And I'm also aware that you're a prolific angel investor. When did you start investing as an angel, and do you still do some angel investments today?
Actually, I'm gonna tell you a funny story. Back in 2015, I read the biography of an American entrepreneur called Elon Musk, and I was talking to my friends saying that the guy was incredible. I was impressed by what he had done at Zip2 and then PayPal and then SpaceX. And I had a bit of money to invest. I sent an email to my banker saying, can you please put the 5K that I have on this company called Tesla? And then they came back to me saying you have to fill this paper and this paper and this paper. And back then I had a lot of things to do with Popchef, so I just forgot to answer. So my angel investing career should have started 10 years ago, but I finally didn't invest in Tesla. I think it would
Oh,
be worth like 50 times more now.
wow.
But anyway, it gave me the confidence that I could be a good investor, and I've done a bit less than 10 investment now. I invested in this YC company called Stocklines a few months ago. Two French entrepreneurs. They are incredibly good. I invested also in this company called Arcades AI, doing Gen AI video editing for marketing agencies. So yeah, I've been doing that for a bit more than 2 years now.
Amazing. And so, how has your life changed since joining Daphni? And also, what investments have you made as part of the Daphni team rather than the angel investing side?
Being an investor is like totally different than being an entrepreneur. Um, yeah, it's totally different. As an entrepreneur, you're basically dealing with a lot of like shitty things all day long. Uh, Answering to investor call, answering to emails from your customer that was not happy because the delivery didn't arrive on time, dealing with your employee that is not happy with the raise that you offered him, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But also as an entrepreneur, I think you have a lot more adrenaline. You have a feel also of achievement that is better than as an investor. And as a VC, I mean, what's cool is you're only working with really smart people. Everything seems really, like easy in terms of communication, etc. You're learning tons of things. Basically the job is to be like curious, gain a deep understanding of different subjects, and you gain a lot of understanding of what innovation is, and then also it's amazing to be able to talk to entrepreneurs all day long. They came with this energy, ambition, so yeah, that's totally different.
Amazing. And so on the investments side, have you made any investments since joining Daphni?
Yeah, so
We're very
actually,
busy last year.
yeah. So I only joined like 10 months ago. Did my first investment that wasn't announced
Oh,
at the moment. But yeah, it's basically AI agents for product compliance, which is a big topic for FMCG companies at the moment. And yeah, currently working on the second one. So I cannot say much about it at the moment. But yeah, it should probably close in the next few weeks.
touch wood for that. Talking about achievement as an entrepreneur, what are you hoping to achieve at Daphni?
Good question. I still have a lot of ambition. Same one as the one I had when I started Popchef. Um, I think what the founders of Daphne have achieved in the past 10 years is incredible. They invested in a few unicorns. I think Daphne has established itself now as probably a top three VC brands in France. So next step is to like become a European brand. So what we do now is we're a French VC based in Paris, investing all across Europe, and what we want to become is a European VC investing from Paris, which is not exactly the same in terms of mindset. So I want to contribute to the development of Daphne as a European brand. And yeah, the idea is to make sure that when a brilliant entrepreneur starts something new, anywhere across Europe, he thinks of Daphne every time. Yeah.
That's a great ambition to have. So I guess that leads us on to our next question. So, could you let us know what your investment criteria is at Daphni? Aware that you're a French VC fund, European ambitions. Could you let us know like what kind of companies you're investing in and where?
Yeah. So there are, I think, different questions, and in what you said, I think in our like in VC there are actually no rules. So you have to be opportunistic. When you look at the big successes, they are all different and they are always reasons to invest and reasons not to invest. On my side, I try to keep it really simple because there are an infinite number of questions that you could ask yourself on every deal you look at. So when I do pre-seed, it's the team. And what I look for in the team is obviously like the level of ambition. I'm also trying to understand if like the founder is really going to be able to work hard for 10 years on the road that's going to be really bumpy, what we call basically resilience. I'm also looking at the learning curve of the entrepreneur. And I think that's a great quality to have because entrepreneurship is mostly execution, and people that execute well are people that are able to learn and adapt fast. So pre-seed, it's the team. When I look at seed investment, I only look at one thing. I also look at the team, obviously, but I look at growth. Growth is the answer to everything. It's the answer to product market fit. When you have growth, you can hire the right people. So it's mostly what I look at, team plus growth when I look at seed. So we do mostly pre-seed seed investment. And then I try to invest in subject I understand, even though as an entrepreneur, as an investor, believe me, we don't understand everything. Like I was an entrepreneur before. The products that companies developed are actually so complicated. We only understand like maybe 5%. But I try to understand, to invest in topics I understand. So it's mainly AI application, AI in supply chain, payments, fintechs, etc. Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for sharing the kind of different investment criteria for Daphni. But in today's market, when I hear pre-seed and seed, and you see some seed rounds exceeding tens of millions of dollars, what do you mean by pre-seed and seed, like ticket size?
It depends. Honestly, there are no rules. I think the level of risk that we want to take in France is totally different than what you see in the US. And it's not only a question of like market size. So in France, usually the pre-seed that we see are 2 to 3 million, and then the seed round at 5 to 6. But when you look at the seed rounds led by the Sequoia, Andreessen, etc., it's sometimes 50 million. But I think it's mostly a question of culture. The Americans, when they go into something, they go 100% into it, and they accept to take the risk. But when you take the risk, there is also the reward, And I think sometimes we tend to try to de-risk too much. And in my opinion, the job is to take the risk. So when I invest, I try to go all in, lead the round and accept to lose. Because when you accept to lose, you also know that you're going to have a few big wins. And that's how the power law actually works in VC.
Yeah. So when it comes to, winning in today's environment, how do you win, the big deals, the marquee deals?
It's tough because the best entrepreneurs, they want to work with the VCs that have the best logos, and that's totally understandable. And when I was an entrepreneur, I wanted to work with the VCs who had backed the best French unicorns, So there are different ways to win the deals. Being early on the deals, being the first one to see the entrepreneur is a competitive advantage because you can then build the relationship with the entrepreneur. And sometimes, they're going to make the choice to work with you, even though you haven't the best track records. For myself, what I try to leverage is my entrepreneur background, and I think the entrepreneur value that a lot. And then it's pure fight. I mean, it's the same when you're looking to win sales deals. Sometimes just taking a plane to, I don't know, London or Barcelona to go meet the entrepreneur and convince him to work with you. Say that you're going to do everything for him, that you're going to open your network, etc., etc. Sometimes it can make you win the deals, and it's a part of the job that I like, fighting on deals.
Makes a lot of sense. Very competitive. Yeah. So when it comes to finding these great deals, how do you source these deals? Is it you focus only on companies based in Europe and selling in Europe and globally, and then do they come to you? Do you go to them? How does that look like?
Yeah, we talked about it a bit before. There are different ways of sourcing. I try to source with my entrepreneurs network because the entrepreneurs are the first one to be aware of the people that are relaunching companies. Today, everybody's on LinkedIn, and everybody who starts a new company says stealth mode or building something new. So you can have this kind of sales strategy where you cold outreach a lot of people on LinkedIn, and that's what we try to do at Daphni. And then we believe a lot about producing contents. So we have a 4 series of podcasts at Daphni covering different topics. And I also believe a lot about building a specific content strategy on LinkedIn, Twitter, Substack, for example, where you talk about different subjects. For example, the areas of investment that you like. I could talk, for example, about what being an entrepreneur is versus being an investor. And, it could generate a lot of probably inbound mails. So there are tons of different strategy you can, and sourcing can happen everywhere. Sometimes it's just by talking to someone on the train. And you say you're an investor, and you say, there is one of my friends, he's building in this space, and then it can happen everywhere. So as I said, there are just no rules, and you need to cover as much as you can.
And so when it comes to inbounds from founders to Daphni, how many pitch decks do you guys get a week?
Good questions. A lot.
A lot.
Yeah. A lot. It's more than a few hundreds per week. Obviously, the best decks that they come from our personal networks. But as I said, no rules. You can, for example, I think one of the unicorn that we invested in actually came from just a pitch deck submitted on Daphni platform. So you need to do your job, be really analytical on every deck you receive.
On being analytical, how data driven is the team here at Daphni? And also, what are some tools and metrics that you use to screen some of these investment opportunities?
What's hard when you do pre-seed is that you actually have no data, right? The only data that you have are the 45 minutes of conversation that you have with the entrepreneur. So what we like to do at Daphni a lot is during reference calls on the founders, talk to as many people as we can who had the opportunity to work with the founders before. And then when you do seed investments, there are actually also not that many KPIs, but we have our own models to analyze the pitch deck, and then we all also do our due diligence. But sometimes we do market sizing and we're like, wow, the market is like not that big, but everything is changing so fast. When you look at Amazon, for example, we could probably have passed on the opportunity, right? Selling books on the web doesn't seem like a big opportunity, but it has become, because they have actually created their own category and then they have like expanded to other things. So I would say it's a mix, of KPIs analysis, but I also truly believe in intuition as an investor.
Intuition is incredibly important as an investor. That gut feeling.
Yeah.
It's underrated in a lot of investment textbooks.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you feel it, you feel it.
Yeah, but it's also hard.
So when it comes to a founder, let's say submitting their pitch deck to Daphni or contacting you guys, how do they position themselves as a kind of must-back founder?
I think when I was a VC 10 years ago, things were totally different. And honestly, I'm impressed by the quality of the pitch deck that we see. And for the pitch deck, there are some rules, actually. I think it should be like, straight to the point, no more than, let's say, 10 slides. What the great founders do is like they simplify a lot because they know that investors like don't have the time to spend 15 minutes on each pitch decks. They put the team on the first or second slide, obviously. They show ambition. When you receive a pitch deck saying that the ambition in 5 years is to do 1 million revenue, it's not interesting for a VC. I'm not saying that's bad. Honestly, that's wonderful to be able to reach 1 million revenue, but that's not what we look at as a VC, because we're always asking the question of can we do a 15x or 100x a multiple. So I think that's what the good founders do, showing ambition, showing the team first, and like simplifying the thing as much as they can to be able to like get that first meeting.
How do you distinguish between storytelling skill, versus real substance?
Yeah, that's a good question, because sometimes you have great storytellers and you're like, that's a great quality to have, because the great storytellers, they can sell to anyone, so they can fundraise, they can hire, they can find customers, but then you need to execute. But usually, in a great team, there are actually both. So there is the storyteller, which is usually the CEO, and then the guy which is more, analytical, which is an execution killer, which is usually the CEO. But sometimes we also like invest in solo founders, and when it's a storyteller, it's a risk that we accept to take. But then, I mean, the storyteller is going to be like able to hire the right people around him. So that's what we check. Is he going to be able to find the right people and build a good team?
That makes a lot of sense. Also, putting the team on the first or second page would address this almost.
Yeah, exactly.
So moving on to, working with founders that you've already invested in, how does Daphni add value, beyond just capital?
Yeah, it's a good question. And also, I think I'm going to answer, I'm going to say what I think of what a good board member is and what is not. So at Daphni, we have built this like platform community with over 400 members. So what we try to do is obviously like help the founders on different matters and connect them to the right people inside the community. And I think that's what an investor can do to add value to the company that they invest in. We also like help them find customers, and that's really, really important in the beginning of a company. And then we also like help them find some new capital when they go to Series B, Series C. We are on the cap table with great investors in Europe, but also in the US. So we try to put them in touch with the right investor when they raise follow-on round. And then, as a good board member, I think your role is mostly to listen to the founders, show that you're confident that they're gonna build something big. And you also need to find the right balance between like backing them, but also challenging them. I think you shouldn't go too much into the details. For example, go too much into the details of the product. That's not your job. And what you can add as an investor also is, this kind of overview that the founders don't have, because all day long they're like dealing with operations. So yeah, I think that's what you can add as a VC brand and a board member.
So when it comes to helping, existing portfolio companies with their subsequent raises, so, the next stage after Daphni is invested, how do you help them with introductions to new investors, and then also Daphni committing additional follow-on capital into these companies?
Yeah, sure. So I think when you're already an investor in the company and you've started like, build the relationship with the founder, when you have confidence in the company, sometimes you can make the mistake of reinvesting without too much, analyzing. So what we try to do is actually like organize a new investment committee to decide if we're gonna reinvest or not. And the people in charge of analyzing the deal are not the one who are sitting on the board of the companies, because they are obviously biased, and I think that's a great thing to do. And then what we try to do is like put them in touch with the right investors. So we try to be really structured, like we do an Excel list of all the potential, interesting investors that the company should talk to, and then we just like reach out to them. We also help them like test their pitch in front of the Daphni team, and then they go on to fundraise.
Amazing. So moving on to the market, where do you see AI taking us in the next few years? And do you think we're in a bubble?
Tough question.
Also asked a lot.
It's a tough question. The truth is we don't know. We don't know, and that's why the job is fascinating, because we're always looking for like answer. We're always trying to imagine what the future will look like, and that's really like passionating. It's moving really fast. I'm a big believer in technology. I'm a big believer in the fact that AI is gonna massively improve the quality of life for humanity. Musk says that with AI in something like 20 to 30 years, we're gonna reach what he calls like abundance, and we won't have to work anymore. I mean, when you have infinite energy with solar power, plus robotics, plus AI that can basically do anything, produce anything, we probably won't have to work. So it's gonna raise a lot more question, but like it's probably in 20, 30 years. What I feel like now is that all the industries that we know now are currently being reshaped by AI. So there are massive opportunities for entrepreneurs and for investors as well. There's going to be massive value creation in the next 10 years. So that's a great time to start something new or invest. And obviously, but I don't have the answer. New industries will be created thanks to AI. I don't know which one, but like for investing, I would say AI apps, infrastructure, energy, and for Europe, everything related to sovereignty. When you look at what happens in geopolitics at the moment, I think betting on investments that make Europe sovereign again is not a bad bet.
Love that. And that was also the dialogue at a recent open source conference as well, making Europe sovereign again.
Yeah.
Love it. So that leads us into our next question. How do you think today's market environment is shaping the next generation of European entrepreneurs and founders?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, because like obviously the great founders, they go where the opportunities are, and what's happening now in geopolitics is actually creating great opportunities. And what I see is that more and more entrepreneurs are looking into opportunities in defense, cloud, chips, etc. Basically, all the like tech stack that's gonna enable Europe to be sovereign and not be too like dependent on the US and in China. And that's crazy to see how in only 20 years we've become from being powerful to being totally dependent on our best ally, which is the US, and on China for all hardware matters. So things needs to change. But in 1 year, I feel like things have changed a lot, you know, like entrepreneurs, politicians, etc. have understood the situation, and there are tons of startups now that are being built that are going to change the situation. Yeah.
What do you think the role of a VC will be in 2030?
Good question. AI is, as I said, reshaping all industry, and VC is a part of it. The job is totally changing, and when you look at what we do at Daphni, we're already using AI everywhere for sourcing, analyzing the pitch decks actually. So we have our own algorithm that analyze the pitch deck before sending them to someone in the investment team. The investment notes that we write are also not fully AI powered, but helped by AI. So the question is, what's gonna stay for like the human VCs? And I think like as a VC, obviously our role is gonna be mostly, you know, to like build relationships with the entrepreneurs and also the co-investors. I think as a human, we're still responsible for the reputation. So the values that we have are really important. So I think the job is gonna be like mostly moving from, you know, an analytical job to a network relationship a job in 2 or 30. Yeah.
To more of a relationship job.
Yeah.
And you know, you mentioned the AI tools you use. Do they just analyze the pitch decks, or do they also, you know, scrape the internet, for example, for various signals on these companies?
Yeah. So we use them for obviously like market research. We use them a lot for sourcing. We use them a lot, obviously, also for like recording all the conversation that we have internally, but like also with entrepreneurs. And yeah, we use them to help us like write also content. But what stays is obviously like, you know, the intuition, the ID generation for producing contents. It's obviously still made by humans at the moment.
Outside of VC, what do you do for fun?
Um, so before having kids, I spent a lot of time like practicing different kind of sports. I'm a big fan of sports in general. I watch a lot and practice a lot. So I've been practicing tennis when I was young, and then soccer. I've been like biking a lot, climbing the Mont Ventoux a lot of time. I've actually crossed the Alps from the Lac Léman to Nice alone, 600 kilometers through the Alps alone on my bike. When I was an entrepreneur, I always tried to have a 1 week retreat alone per year, you know, like to reflect on the past years, etc. And yeah, now play a lot of golf. I'm a big passionate of golf, and actually between like my last venture, Popchef, and joining Daphni, I spent like 6 months trying to like become one of the top 500 amateur golfer in France. So I booked a coach, did some like a gymnastic practice also to become like a stronger and hit the ball more powerful. And I try to train like a pro for 6 months. So training 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. And yeah, almost reached my goal. So I'm in the top 0.7% of the golfers in France. I'm ranked 3050 out of 450K in France. So
That's amazing.
not in the top 500, but almost there.
And where were you before you went on this almost Rocky Balboa-esque training arc? You know, what level were you before you started that intense
So
training?
there is this thing of, you know, handicap in golf. So you start at 54 and the best handicap that you can have, to make it simple, is like 0. I know it might sound a bit crazy, but 0 is the best handicap you can have in golf. I was something like a 10, and now I'm 2. So basically shooting 2 over par when I play.
Well done.
Thanks.
If you weren't a VC, what would you be?
So I would have loved to work for the DGSE, so the Secret Services in France. But I could become one. I'm only 36 years old, you know, so we never know. And second thing, yeah, become a professional athlete. I would have loved to do that. Could have been in golf, but I think more like you know, a team sport. I don't know, like soccer or rugby. Maybe more soccer, because I don't have the physical abilities to be a rugby player. But I would have loved to do that. Yeah, but it's too late now.
Never too late. Believe in your dreams.
Maybe with AI, you know, I can become young again and become a soccer player one day.
Who knows? Who knows? Well, you better fund the right company.
Yeah.
So, what are your top 3 films of all time?
Good question. I think Matrix, The Godfather, and then the Lord of the Rings.
Which one? 1, 2, or 3?
I love like the 3 of them.
Okay, so all 3 in one go.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. Some film. What 3 books would you recommend?
First one would be Le Comte de Monte Cristo from Alexandre Dumas. I've read it 3 times. I think, you know, when I feel that my level of energy is low, I take Le Comte de Monte Cristo, and then my level of energy is back up. Then I've read also other books from Alexandre Dumas, like Les Trois Mousquetaires. Dostoevsky also, the Karamazov brothers, or Crime and Châtiment from Dostoevsky. And also I've read so many biographies or autobiographies from entrepreneurs. So you have this one from Tony Xier, the founder of Zappos, which is called Delivering Happiness, where he explained how he has built his entire company culture on delivering happiness for the customer. And that was the only goal of the company, which went on to be acquired by Amazon. I love the biography of the founder of Nike, which is called The Shoe Dog. That's crazy. The biography of Musk also. So yeah, I mean, there are so many great books. That's crazy.
Who is your celebrity lookalike?
Some of my friends said that I look a lot like Macron. Physically. Also, some people say that I look like Andy Murray, the tennis player.
Andy Murray.
Yeah.
Scottish Andy Murray.
Yeah. So Macron or Andy Murray, your choice.
Looking like Macron, we need to get you a pair of blue sunglasses at least.
Yeah.
So for next time.
I've never worn sunglasses, actually. I don't know why. And my wife is always like, during the summer, why don't you have sunglasses? But I never want. So yeah.
Now's the time. Based on your experience to date, what advice would you give to the latest batch of entrepreneurs and VCs?
I think you need to be really careful when you listen to advices. You need to look at the person who gives advice, because it's based on who he or she is and the experiences that he had. So I'm not sure that's an advice, but a feedback that I would give is like, just believe in yourself. Life is actually a fulfilling prophecy. So if you're confident that you're the best, if you're confident that you're gonna become a tennis player or, a founder of $1 billion company, you're gonna make it. And that was one of the main thing that I lacked, as an entrepreneur, is like being confident in myself. So that's something I'm trying to work on at the moment. If you wake up every day saying you're the best, I'm pretty sure you're gonna become the best. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't listen to advices, etc. But just believe in yourself, and good things will happen.
On that note, thank you very much, Briac, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. That was really cool.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.